Victor Oscar Golf 003, QSY 27.570. This is 43 Victor Oscar Golf 003, QRZ.
43 Victor Oscar Golf 003 Australia. How you doing today? 9 Alpha Tango 791 Gulf Islands, North Pacific.
Yeah, good day, mate. How you going there? No problem. Operator name this side is Scott. Oscar Tango, you're 5 and 5, you're 5 and 5. QSL.
Thanks, Scott. Good to hear you out there, buddy. 43 Victor Oscar Golf 003 Australia. 5 and 7, 5 and 7. Not the greatest propagation today, but you're coming in pretty darn good there, Scott. Sounding good from down under here to the Gulf Islands off the far west coast, Pacific coast of Canada. Joe on this side. Juliet Oscar Echo, QSL.
Roger, Joe, no problem, mate. You're making the trip quite well, mate. Like I said, local time here just after 11 a.m. And we're located about 200 kilometres south of the city of Sydney on the east coast of Australia there, Joe. QSL?
QSL, 200 kilometres south of Sydney there on the east coast of Australia. Not a problem there, Scott. Q5 all the way. Sounding good here to the Pacific Coast Islands. We're out here on the Gulf Islands off the far southwest coast of British Columbia. A beautiful day out here, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. 10 degrees Celsius, scattered clouds and sun. Not too bad. And, not a bad winter day in this part of the world there, QSL.
QSL there, John. I was speaking to a few other operators and they said you've been having a fair bit of snow up there. I don't think I could handle that cold weather, but our temperature today is about 25 degrees. We're slowly creeping into autumn at the moment. Just the end of summer, so we're still getting some nice warm days here, and it'll start getting cold in another few more months. But it's good to hear you blokes coming through there, Jay. QSL?
Yeah, QSL, your signal came up to 9 there, not a problem. Yeah, we did actually get some snow. Our first snowfall, and hopefully our last here, was about a week and a half ago to two weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago that we got some snow, and it didn't last very long. And temperatures out on these islands are a lot milder than the rest of Canada. So Canada's covered. The rest of Canada's covered in snow all winter, and we're nice and green here out on these islands.
Well, that's good, mate. You're not in the thick of the wild weather there. No, that's very good to hear, mate. Our operating conditions this side, Joe, are like on IC 7300, running 100 whiskies through a 2-element delta loop about 5 metres above the ground, and our location is only about 400 metres away from the coastline, so it's a pretty straight shot over the ocean to you guys there, Joe.
Yeah, you're 10 over into the red now. You're banging into the red. That 7300 and that 2-element delta loop's working really well for you in the 100 whiskies. Good audio, good signal, nice sounding station coming out of Australia. I'm running a 3-element flat side Serio Yagi beam up about 26 foot to the boom. Couple 100 whiskies here with an RCI 2980 WX radio and an old school D104 lollipop microphone on this side there, QSL.
Roger, mate. Well, you're doing a good job. You're about the biggest station I've heard this morning. I spoke to a couple of stations this morning out of your way, so you're doing pretty good. I was on earlier in the day about 8 a.m. and the conditions are just starting to pick up, so in another hour or two about lunchtime here, it'll probably, the conditions might improve, make it a little bit better for communications over your side. Got a few weak Mexican stations coming through there, so we'll pick up as the day goes on there, Joe.
Yeah, QSL, yeah, you guys are about 18 hours ahead of us. You guys are going to have your lunch, and I'm going to have my dinner soon there. So, but good to hear you, Scott. And like I say, I know it's beautiful weather down there. Our spring, first day of spring here is March 20th. March 20th here in the northern hemisphere. So, but it is pretty safe to say that winter is done here on these islands. And we had about a week and a half of it, and that was it.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, something to look forward to, mate. Some nice nice weather and some good conditions, and yeah, the propagation over this side of the wall hasn't been the greatest. A little bit of Europe in the late in the afternoon, but certainly don't get used guys when the conditions are good. So it's like I say, it's good to hear all these stations coming through today. Got the day off today, so it's a good day to be on the radio there, Joe.
Yeah, QSL, you know, I was working today, and I get home, I'm off work just before 11 a.m., so I was working a little Europe in my vehicle there today. I talked to a station out there in the UK, and then I had somebody from Belfast, Northern Ireland, come back to my little rinky-dinky mobile there, but we did hear some Europe coming in this morning. But I was going to say, I'm pretty close to the ocean here, too. I'm about 900 feet to 1,000 feet away from the Pacific Ocean here. So like you say, it's a clear shot across the ocean for us there, QSL.
Yeah, it works quite well when it's like that, but the long path for us, the long path to Europe, we're back over the ocean, but for our short path to Europe, we're headed about a little bit northwest, so we've got to go over a mountain range over the back, which is not so bad, but it's not as good as the long path, but most of our QSAs to Europe have been through the short path, but it seems to work quite well. When the conditions are open, it doesn't matter which way you're going, it always seems to work really well.
Exactly, I know what you mean, just depends on propagation. And some days it's very, very good. I point my beam north by northeast up over the pole there for Europe. And for you right now, I'm pointed directly southwest into the Central and South Pacific. And you are banging in here, way up into the red now.
Yeah, very good, mate. Yeah, I think I don't have a rotator on the rotator operator, so we're probably beaming about 70 degrees, a little bit northeast sort of thing. To bump it up there, we probably could go a little bit more on the northern side to about 60 degrees, but no, it's good to know the signal's getting out there, Joe.
Yeah, 10 and 20 over there, Scott. Sounding good, brother. Yeah, my beam is probably locked right in on your beam antenna, and that's why we're coming in so good there. Direct shot across the Pacific. Anyway, Scott, I don't want to tie it up too much longer. I do actually have to get in there and make something to eat. I'm starting to get a bit hungry here. So, hey, I appreciate it, my friend. I was sounding good. I know we've talked before, and hopefully you can get out there and work a bit more DX. I know, like I say, you guys are 18 hours ahead of us, so you probably got a lot of DX still going to roll in. At this time of the day, it'll start to fade out in about another maybe couple of hours, maybe a few hours, and then we're done. But at this time of the day, we get a lot of South Pacific, Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific, and right now I got some South America coming in too. Anyway, Scott, have a great day. Good to hear you. 43 Victor Oscar Golf 003 Australia. Cheers and beers, buddy. From 9 Alpha Tango 791 on the Gulf Islands, out here in the North Pacific.
All good, Joe. 73, mate. Catch you later, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Scott. Cheers, bro.